everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name's Rachel and this is Stitched Up. So today's video is going to be the resolutions tag, which is re-sew lutions. I'll put it along the bottom here. And this is a tag that was originally started a few years ago, I think. I can't remember who originally started it, but this year the lovely Claire from Penguin and Pear Dressmaking, I'll put a link to her channel down in the description box below, has started this tag and has tagged me in it. And there's a selection of questions that Claire has asked dressmakers and sewists to answer, and I thought you might like to see my answers. So I've had to make notes and I've had to really think about this, because some of these questions are actually quite, they do make you think a little bit more about your sewing plans and things you've done and that kind of thing. So anyway, let's get started and we'll see how we get on. Okay, so question number one is, what is your favourite make of 2018 and why? Now, this is actually the easiest question for me to answer, and my favourite make of 2018 was this Vogue dress, the V1474 Tom and Linda Platt. So this is the pattern here, and I made this dress in the early part to mid-summer last year for my maid of honour dress for my father's wedding. And yeah, this is the dress here. So I will put some pictures in. I'll put a little picture in of me wearing it, but I'm sure lots and lots of you have seen this before anyway. But this is just absolutely my proudest make. The fabric is a beautiful crepe. If I bring it closer, you might be able to just see that better. It's a gorgeous sort of dusky pink nudie colour crepe fabric that I got from a place called Threadmill Fabrics, which is in a little place near, it's between sort of Sheffield and Rotherham, and the owner of that store is a lady called Cheryl, and she's just amazing. She is a wedding dress maker herself, and she specialises in occasion wear fabrics basically, and she's just incredible. You go there and she gives you so much time and brings out all these different fabrics, gives you loads of different ideas. She really, really knows her stuff, and to get that level of attention and customer service these days is just so rare. And yeah, I can't sort of recommend her enough, to be honest, because she's just amazing. Anyway, I went along with my stepmother in about April time last year, I think it was, to look at fabrics to choose for bridesmaid dresses and all that kind of thing. And this was the fabric that we chose for the Vogue V1474. And yeah, this dress is just amazing. So it's basically a bias cut, and if I just show you it from the back, it's got this amazing sort of waterfall detail at the back that just drapes in this beautiful fabric. It's got a narrow hem and really lovely skirt on it. It's just beautiful. It fastens with a little button at the back. There's a zip that's all, so it's an invisible zip, which I don't know, you shouldn't be able to see it, but it's just under there. There's my invisible zip there, and that turned out really well. And then this lovely waterfall detail just covers it at the back. And then I added this really lovely little diamante button over there just to cover where the hook and eye is. And yeah, I felt $1 million in this dress, and it's just such a shame because I just don't know when or where I would ever wear this dress again. But you know, it was just so beautiful, and I'm so proud of how it turned out. I didn't really need to make a lot of changes to it at all. The only thing I added, I think I added about an inch on to the top portion here. I didn't need to add on any length to it whatsoever, which I'm really pleased about, because when I looked at the pattern pieces, it would have been really quite awkward. And I did toil it, and yeah, it was just amazing. So yeah, I'm so proud of this dress. I really took my time with it, and yeah, I think it's one of those things that made me feel just amazing on the day, and to have something that fits you perfectly and makes you feel like that is just great. So yeah, definitely my proudest make of 2018. So question number 2 is, what did you attempt in 2018 that you won't be doing this year? Now, I've really had to think about this question because, to be honest, I think everything that I've made or attempted to make, whether it's been a success or not, I think I've learnt so much from. And yes, we all want everything to work out really well and to fit us and to look good and feel good in what we make. But I think one of the things about sewing your own is it's a good process for being able to identify not just what you look good in, but what you feel good in as well. And there have been makes where I've loved the pattern and I've made it up and I've loved the dress, but when I've seen myself in it, I've thought, do you know what, that really doesn't suit me. And as soon as I recognise that, I then don't feel comfortable in what I've made. So there's been lots of instances of that. I can't think of anything in particular. However, what I would say is that I always try and take something really positive from that experience, because it does teach you so much, in whether it's a new technique or whether you're just honing your skills a bit more, like trying to make buttonholes better, that kind of thing. So I always think even the makes that aren't a success, I've learnt something from. So there's been nothing that I wouldn't attempt again from a sewing perspective. However, I've sort of turned this question on its head a little bit and thought a little bit about my fabric stash. And as I've alluded to a couple of times recently in a few recent vlogs, my fabric stash is massive, absolutely massive. And in some ways it's a bit of a curse that I've got a spare bedroom that has now turned into my sewing room, because it means I've got the place to store lots of fabric and shut it away so it's not on open view all the time. And yeah, it's definitely, I wouldn't say it's out of control, but what I would say is that it's large, and I probably could go the rest of my life with never having to purchase fabric again because I've got that much. And I have made the mistake of buying fabric thinking, oh, I really need some black cord, for instance, and then later on finding that actually I do have some in my stash already, but it's just buried behind other things that I can't see. So I think when I look at what I've done in 2018, what I'm not going to do this year, I've made a real pact with myself to just be really more thoughtful about the fabrics that I buy this year, if I buy any. I'm trying really hard to use some of the fabrics in my stash, and you know, I've got some amazing fabrics and I know that I'm extremely lucky for that as well, and I really want to get some of these used, so I want to try and reduce it. I'm not going to be ridiculous and say I'm not going to buy any fabric this year, because that's just not going to happen. But also I'm also not going to commit to saying I want to reduce it by a half, because to be perfectly honest, that's not going to happen either. Because even if I sewed every single day, every single minute of every day, which I don't have because I work, I still would not get half of my fabric stash sewn in a year. So what I do want to try and do, if I'm honest though, is I've got one of those IKEA Kallax units, which is, it's a 12 hold unit, I guess you would call it, and it's full of fabric, but also on top of the unit is full of fabric as well. And what I would like to do is to try and reduce it so there's not anything on top of the unit by the end of this year. That's going to be a tall order as well, I'll be honest, but we'll see how we get on. So what I would say to this question is that I'm going to be really thoughtful about the fabrics that I purchase this year, and I'm not going to be impulsive or spontaneous where fabric buying is concerned, and I'm only going to buy specific, really specific things. If I want to make something and I cannot find the right fabric in my stash and think, yes, I need orange, I don't know, an orange waterproof coat fabric because I want to make a bright orange waterproof coat. I can't see that happening, but you know, you get the idea. So yeah, that's my plan for this year. Okay, next question. What will you continue to make? Well, this was a difficult question for me to think about as well. However, what I do think I will continue to make is absolutely anything that catches my eye. As well as a huge fabric stash, I've also got quite a large pattern collection as well, and I've got loads of patterns that I've never attempted yet. I think there's quite a few in my stash that I probably will never attempt, because I think they're patterns that I purchased at the very beginning of my sewing career, probably about 5 years ago now, and some of the designs I've just gone off totally, and it's not something that I would wear now. But what I would say is that you know, I don't have a particular style, I don't think, and I tend to be quite spontaneous with what I want to make. So there's going to be loads of patterns that come out this year where I see something and think, oh, that's gorgeous, I really like that, and I'm just going to be spontaneous and think, yeah, I'm going to make that this weekend, grab a fabric out of my stash and have a go. And I think that I will continue to do that this year. In addition to that though, because I've obviously started in my new job now and I'm settling in, etc., and I wear my own clothes, I do need more work appropriate clothing, and I'm very conscious of the fact that I don't want to buy any. I'd much rather, I've got plenty of fabric, I'd much rather just make my own. So I think that I will be making lots more of work appropriate clothing this year. I do need more tops, more work appropriate tops, so I think that's going to be high on the agenda for my makes this year. Next question, what will you buy this year, sorry, what will you try this year that you haven't tried before? Straight away I am going to say the Kelly Anorak by Closet Case Patterns. Now this was actually on my Make 9 list for 2018, and I know that I haven't done a Make 9 review or a Make 9 video or anything like that, and the reason for that is because I did a Make 9 plan at the beginning of 2018 and I don't think I ever looked at it again. So I'm quite embarrassed about that really. So it really clearly didn't hit a chord with me, so I've just scrapped it this year totally. I thought, what's the point, because I'm just not going to stick to it. However, I do know that the Kelly Anorak was on that plan, and I have got the pattern and I have got the extension pack for the lining, and I don't think I have the fabric. I think I did buy some fabric with a plan to make a burgundy version. However, I don't think I've got enough because I will need to lengthen the pattern and the sleeves, etc. But I really want to have a go at this coat. Shan from Kittenish Behaviour has just made one and hers is just stunning, really is. And Mum has quilted the lining for her and it just looks beautiful. She's put a fur trim around the hood and it's just gorgeous, and it really sort of made me think, yeah, I really need to do that, because it was on my Make 9 last year and I never even pulled the pattern out of my stash. So I think my plan is that I really want to try that this year. I've made a few coats before, but the majority of the coats that I have made have all been very unstructured styles, very loose fitting, not really any fastenings, no significant details on them, that kind of thing. And I really think I do need to sort of progress a little bit more and try to have a go at making a coat that is a little bit more fitted. I know the Kelly Anorak is still quite loose and it's not a tailored coat as such, but it's got lots of more fit details with the cord around the waist and all the press studs and all that kind of thing. So I think that's going to be something that's really going to make me really concentrate hard on improving my skills. And I think that's something that I really need to tackle this year. I've sort of got myself into a bit of, when I'm sewing, that I'm speed sewing. And I know you all think I'm really fast at sewing things up anyway, but the majority of the things I'm choosing tend to be clothes that I can make really quickly within a matter of an hour to 4 or 5 hours. And I've got myself into that kind of cycle. And that's great because it means I'm building up my wardrobe, but obviously it means that I'm shying away from those projects where I'm going to learn new skills and really develop that sort of accuracy with things, and I think the Kelly will help me on that road. So yes, my plan this year is to have a go at the Kelly Anorak. So yeah, hold me to that and remind me of it later on this year. So last question is, where do you see your wardrobe at the end of this year and in 5 years' time? So at the end of this year, I do see my wardrobe as having much more of a work orientated focus. I've got lots of casual clothes, and I do find that I would say that the majority of my wardrobe now is handmade. I don't have many shop bought clothes in there anymore, certainly not things that I've purchased recently. But when I think about what I wear casually, I do tend to reach for jeans, especially this time of year. Jeans and a jumper, jeans and a jumper. I haven't made jeans yet. I've got the ginger jeans pattern and I keep toying with it, but to be honest, my weight isn't in a place where I want it to be right now, and I don't want to make ginger jeans that are going to fit my figure as it is right now, because I won't be happy with how I look. So that just seems a waste of denim and a waste of time, if I'm perfectly honest. So I don't think jeans are going to be something that I tackle this year. So most of my jeans are bought jeans, and yeah, I do tend to reach for those a lot. I've got a lot of dresses in my wardrobe, but I always feel the cold, and a dress, even a chunky knitted dress with tights, I still feel cold. So when it's really cold as it is now, I tend to just go for jeans and layer up with t-shirts and jumpers, that kind of thing. So I think that I am going to focus more on building up my work wardrobe this year. So work-wise, we don't have to dress really smart. Obviously, because I'm a nurse practitioner, I do have to dress presentably, but it's not ultra smart. We're not I don't work in a corporate environment or anything like that. So there's a lot of sort of casual pieces or semi-casual pieces that I can sort of smarten up a little bit, if that makes sense. So yeah, it does give me a lot more options regarding the kinds of things that I want to make and the kinds of things that I'll be able to wear in my work environment. So I would say, I think by the end of this year, I'm hoping to have a lot more tops and trousers that I can wear for work. 5 years time, gosh, I really don't know. I really have no idea. It's 5 years now since I started sewing, and when I think about the things I'm sewing now, it really isn't what I imagined I would be doing 5 years ago. In fact, I didn't even think 5 years ago that I'd probably still be sewing and sewing the majority of the clothes that I wear every day. 5 years time, who knows? I don't want to think that far ahead. I don't have any major sort of ambitions to be sewing a particular sort of narrow group of clothing or anything like that. I've got no plans to go into sewing for other people. I did a little bit of that last year and found it incredibly stressful and took a lot of the joy out of sewing for me. So I don't have any plans to do that. I would like to have more time to sew, and I think the main thing for me in 5 years is that I would be hoping that I wouldn't be working full time anymore, that I can be part-time, so that I've just got more time for me, more time to delve into other projects, and yeah, I think that's probably it. So okay, so that's all the questions done, and the last thing I'm going to do is tag 3 lovely people to answer the resolutions questions as well, and those people that I'm going to tag are the lovely Amanda from I Sew A Lot, the lovely Karina from Lifting Pins and Needles, and also the gorgeous Lisa from And So On. So I hope the 3 of you are watching, and yeah, please go ahead and film your own resolutions tag. So I hope you've enjoyed that little insight into what my thoughts are around my sewing, etc, etc. This video has probably been a bit longer than I expected it to be. I didn't think I'd have much to say, but yeah, once I get rambling, I can't shut up, can I? Anyway, enough of that. I hope you all enjoy the rest of your week, and I will look forward to being back with you really soon. Take care, bye bye.